Where'er we roam so far from home, to see the world all on our own. Where'er we hear the mighty river roar, adventure waits outside our door. Where'er we stray in the mountain's shadow fair, we all should strive to be out there.
Welcome back to Out There. This will be the second leg of my Idaho trip. We started the day, or I ended the day at the Crooked River right here at the trailhead, and we jumped straight over the hill to where the South Fork Lodge is in Lowman, Idaho. We stopped and got some ice, and on the way back, we actually had a meal here. It was really good. It's nice to support the locals, so you should always stop in and try and do that. From there, we jumped over to camp along the South Fork of the Payette River by an area called Grand Jean. So we camped right there on the river, and you can see the little loop turn out there on the top of the screen. The second day, I started fishing there, and I worked my way all the way up river to the spot here where you can see I've marked hot springs. And the section just below the hot springs, about maybe half a mile, 3/4 of a mile, something like that, was probably the best piece of fishing in the river that I experienced. The canyon tightened up, and the pools got much bigger. And below that, it was almost entirely one big run. There were fish in it, but it just wasn't my style as much. So I really liked this section in here. I had to do some rock climbing, that sort of thing. Just upstream of that, you've got the Sacagawea Hot Springs. Great spot to stop for the evening and have a nice rinse off and a relaxation in their springs. And then just upstream of that, we have the Sawtooth Lodge here at Grand Jean. And you could restock, and they've got a paid campground there. And it's like $15 a night. So I'm going to move on, and I hope you enjoy the video.
Welcome to the South Fork of the Payette River. This river is a gorgeous river. I came here about 3 years ago on a trip across Idaho, and I was just dying to come back. Just downstream of me here is the Sacagawea Hot Springs, and down there's a dirt road. We're about 6 miles in on the dirt road, and then there's the highway, and down the highway about 27 miles to Lowman, Idaho. So the South Fork of the Payette River follows the road most of the way down here, and it's just a beautiful river, super clear. There's this gorgeous hot springs here, and then just up here there's a little resort, and this little area here is called Grand Jean, and I'm not sure why, but this is a beautiful place. We're going to go in here. This river's a little bit bigger, so I'm going to throw some bigger flies, and we're going to see if we can catch some larger fish, and hopefully we'll get some really good trout in this river. I've got about 2 or 3 days here. This is the Sacagawea Hot Springs. This is the main portion of the springs, and just below here there's a bunch of pools where people can divert the river water into the spring water and kind of mix it to make like a bath to get the temperature right. But just look at all that hot water pouring out of the cliff. It's just gorgeous here. That. A 2-1.
Now we're getting some.
Ah. What are the odds of that? A 2-1. It's a better one. Look how clear these fish are. You get in a river with lighter water, lighter rocks and clearer water, and you get lighter colored trout. Dark water, dark rocks make dark trout. This guy's kind of skinny, so he's not eating a lot. is day 2 on the South Fork of the Payette. My wife dropped me off down here, downstream from our camp for a bit, so I'm going to walk upriver and see what I can find. This section is mostly these flatter runs without a lot of big pools, so I'll probably cover ground fairly quickly and try and cut to the better spots, but we'll see what's in here. I'm going to be running a double nut nymph rig with my preferred flies. You can see here I've got an olive bird's nest with a bead, and I've got a black bird's nest with a bead. Same pattern, just different color. And I've got a lot of weight on here so that they can get down in this faster water. In slower water or whatever, I might use a slightly lighter bead. And one last thing, if you're out here on the river, make sure to leave it better. Leave it better than you found it. People leaving garbage in the river is just so annoying. So I always pick up the trash, put it in my bag, and make sure it's better than when I found it. Let's get out there and see about the fish. Look how beautiful this fish is. See how clear and light colored he is? Because the rocks in this river are light colored, so the fish are light colored. Beauty, eh? All right, let's see here. Here, look at him. Careful, that hook's sharp. Careful, hook's sharp.